All right. What's happening? Good people. Hey, the first, the first, the first. Terrible Towel Tuesday special edition, which is the post-game show. So this is basically, I don't want to name the show. We'll just always call it the post-game reaction. And a lot of you guys who've been following my channel a long time are familiar with it. This is the first one of the 2024 season, as you guys may have just seen or maybe still watching. I cut out a little early because, 2 minutes left. You may still be watching. And Pittsburgh still is taking on the Houston Texans at the Acrisure Stadium. And we'll talk about it a little bit. It's going to be a really quick show, man. Really quick show. I'm just going to jump in, jump out. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Let me check something here really quick. And then I'll get right to you guys. But, not a whole lot to talk about, honestly and truly. I'll talk about a few things. So what's going on, everybody? Let me see who all is up in here. Shout outs to the infamous Tim, the master of music, A Philly 215, Sonny Rothmiller, Jack Bauer, Sade. What's going on, Sade? Our lovely lady to chat. One of our lovely ladies. Make sure you guys say hello to Sade. CT Pittman, what's happening, partner? David, is it Lakazi or Lakaze? And Seidel, my man, Drama Seidel in the building, Mike Tomlin in the building, Fire Tomlin. Oh, I'm going to talk about Tomlin a little bit. I got a question for Mike Tomlin. I really do. I got one question for Mike Tomlin, and we'll still get into that. Somebody said we could still win. Really? Let me take a look at the app. Let me look at the NFL Network. What's going on at the actual moment right now? Let me look at the, hold on, guys. Somebody said we could still win. I mean, it don't matter, but I guess I'll look and see what y'all talking about. Give me a quick second here. Saying it's 3rd and 7. So what is it? We have the ball. We have the ball. Because I'm not watching it anymore, so I'll let you guys tell me what's going on. But anyway, man, let's just get into it, in and out. Not a lot to talk about. I mean, the reason why I say that is because it really wasn't a lot going on. There was a couple things that I saw that caught my eye, but it wasn't anything overarching that, I know it's a one-score game. Like I said, it was at the 2-minute warning when I came in here and started the show. We have the ball now. They are punting. Okay. But how much time is left? Because, again, like I said, when I just walked in here, it was 2 minutes on the clock. It was 2 minutes on the clock when I walked in here. So I don't know if maybe some of you guys are seeing behind, or some of you guys are seeing it, depending on how your cable is. Some people are streaming the game. I don't know. 4th and 11. Yeah. Game is over. But anyway, guys, let's talk about what I want to talk about really quick. Just getting our feet wet with the post-game reaction. Not a super deep show tonight, I promise y'all. I'm going to be out of here in about 15 minutes. All right? So what did I notice? First and foremost, we did have an injury in the game, man. They said Benton went down. Keanu Benton went down. I saw that in the first quarter. I think Bob Papiani reported that it might be an eye injury, so keep an eye on that. Remember, guys, I talked about that on Terrible Towel. I said, the reason why I was excited to watch preseason games is so you can kind of learn the roster. And I was talking about that depth, what happens when this guy's not playing. And when that guy's not playing, Keanu Benton was the guy I mentioned, because they said he had a minor injury during the week, so I wasn't sure he was even going to play. So you keep an eye on guys who are behind guys who aren't out there, right? That was the one main thing I wanted to look at. Nothing really big to talk about, guys, on the first series, but I did kind of talk about it a little bit. One of the backup quarterbacks, the guy Plumlee, ran into his own man on the kick return, so that looked sloppy. The Steelers start the game with a play-action pass. We'll talk about that in a moment. Justin Fields able to find Najee Harris for 16 yards. Later on in the drive, Fields finds Pickens for 16 yards. And that was on a 2nd and 11. Later on, Fields loses the ball, on the snap, fumbled the ball. brought up a 2nd and 14, and then the Steelers were faced with a 3rd and 13. They were unable to pick up any more but 6 yards, forced to punt. Excuse me. Defensively, the defense that the Steelers put out there, 3 and out. They were able to go 3 and out. Peyton Willis, there it is. You'll see me saying his name wrong. Peyton Wilson already showing up. He made the very first tackle of the 2024 season because he did make the tackle on that punt return. Made his first tackle, and he also got a tackle for loss on that first drive as well. So, first defensive series, Peyton Wilson making himself known. And I believe Peyton Wilson probably finished the game with about 7 or 8 tackles. I heard Bob Papiani or Charlie Batch, one of those guys, said that he had a total of 7 tackles at some point in the game. But he was somebody that you saw often. Y'all saw a couple times, too, where he kind of whiffed on the tackle. I did see that at least 2 times. I saw Peyton Wilson whiff on the tackle, kind of dove too early or just couldn't get a hand on the guy. He's got to be a little more of a sure tackler, and I'm sure he will be. I mean, guys, we know and saw what his career was in college, so I'm sure he'll be fine, but it was just something to pay attention to. Outside of that, man, let's see. What else did I write down here? There was just some key moments, things to talk about. Did you guys notice? Did y'all notice James Daniels had on the little Guardian cap thing that they wear in preseason? Well, training camp, but he wore it in the preseason game. Did y'all see that? I'm not sure how I feel about that, guys. I'm not sure how I feel about the Guardian cap in a televised football game. It's cool for training camp, but I'm going to just be honest. I understand they want to make the game and more safe, but I don't know if I want to see a football game where there's 22 men on the field with those caps on. And like I said, seeing James Daniel wear it in a game setting. Hold on, guys. Got some stuff going on here. With my monitor. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Camera about to fall. All right, here we go. So, yeah, I had some... my monitor was stuck on my power strip and it was tilted forward, so I had to catch it. And in turn, you almost saw the camera fall as the camera did one of those numbers. But all right, we back at it, guys. Yeah, I don't want to see that. And again, I understand player safety first. I get it, but myself, I do not want to see that. I just don't. I mean, and I love the sport. I will evolve with it as a, as a viewer, but I don't want to see that. I really don't. So I just wanted to know if you guys noticed that, man. So 25 seconds left. We had the ball on their 40-yard line and an interception thrown by Kyle Allen. Okay, very fitting, very fitting. But yeah, Peyton Wilson, he's gonna be somebody, man. Keep your eyes on him. I love when you hear about guys, what they're doing in training camp and the kind of pedigree that they come in with from college, and I love to see that translate early. And the reason why I say early is because tonight, he made a couple plays tonight already, making himself known. Another guy that stuck out to me was Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier didn't have a bad game at all, man. In fact, on that last drive when the Steelers were able to get a touchdown, he was the contributing factor on 2 or 3 of those runs that got us into the end zone. Zach Frazier opened a wide hole. I mean, he's looking pretty sharp out there. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, well, we don't know if he was going against the starters and yada, yada, yada. I'm going to get to that in a moment as well. That part doesn't that much matter to me, guys, because I just want to see how somebody performs. I'm not going to beat somebody down because they're playing against this level of competition or whatever you want to call it. But I see we do that too much. And I got a counterpoint to that backup thing in just a moment. I got something to say about that. But yeah, Zach Frazier and Peyton Wilson were the two guys that stuck out to me tonight, guys that I could say, oh, they did something that was noticeable. Also, another guy didn't do great. He just had some moments. What's the kid's name? Jonathan Ward. He showed a little burst on that first run that he had, about a 20-yard run, but, didn't have as much success between the tackles. But, that could be a combination of either him and the line or defense that was being played. I don't know, but he definitely showed a little pop. And the kid Edwards from Georgia on, the longer run that got us down to the touchdown. So keep an eye on those guys, because I'm pretty sure the fourth running back is definitely a competition, right? It's going to be a competition. Cordell Patterson is probably going to be the de facto third running back, but you never know. You never know. One of these guys might emerge, and you'll use Cordell Patterson more so as a special teams return guy, not necessarily have to use him as a runner. That wouldn't hurt my feelings if one of these younger guys is able to solidify themselves as a third option, right? So that's what I got on that. But those are really the names that stuck out. It was good to see Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson. I could only wish. Y'all see what happens when I try to talk too fast. All right, slow down. Calvin Austin. It was good to see Calvin Austin make some catches, definitely downfield, as well as a guy like Scotty Miller downfield, because I love to see when speed guys can free themselves, whether it's a crosser or an over route or whatever the case may be, and they can get downfield. Love that. So it was good definitely to see Calvin Austin making a few catches, making some plays there. And even, going back to what I was going to say earlier about Kyle Allen, just not as accurate as he could be. He had Calvin Austin wide open on that fourth and goal attempt. I mean, wide open. And for whatever reason, he thought he was Calvin Johnson, right? He thought he was 6'5". Instead of 5'8" or whatever Calvin Austin is. Allen must have thought he was a taller Calvin. And he just threw that ball way too high, man, and Austin unable to come down with it. Came down with the catch, but he couldn't keep his feet in bounds. So, I feel like it was a lot of missed opportunities tonight, man, just with the team. Like I said, it wasn't nothing special to talk about. Really wasn't. I agree with the master of music. I think Scotty Miller, Miller was doing a couple things that, making a little case for himself. I definitely agree with that. So it's going to be interesting, man, to see how this whole wide receiver rotation is going to work. It was good to see on another play action play, Justin Fields able to find Van Jefferson. So everything that we're hearing from training camp, it was good to see it on display. Still is definitely used in play action. My goodness. I saw a lot of play action. We even saw a halfback screen or two tonight. So keep your eyes on it, man. Let's see exactly what Arthur Smith is looking to do. I'm sure he didn't show us his whole playbook tonight, but I definitely can say that we saw a mix of things, right? Even the routes downfield, the corner routes and stuff, and some of those switch routes that it looked like I saw. Can't say for sure unless I'm able to see all 22 version, but it looked like I saw a couple switch routes out there as well. Even that theory, even that idea is different from what we're used to with a Matt Canada. Route combination and the type of routes. But of course, when you run those type of routes, you got to be able to trust in your line. Was good to see Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu out there at the same time. Fautanu playing the right tackle, Broderick Jones playing the left. I did see Fautanu give up a sack to what's my guy's name that came, Danielle Hunter, right? That came from Minnesota. Welcome to the NFL. The veteran Hunter was able to get around you. I mean, I felt like Fautanu had good depth. You just got to stay sticky. You got to stay on him, and don't allow him to sack your quarterback. But, outside of that, man, I think the kid will be fine. So I definitely want to see more of Broderick Jones and Fautanu playing together. And like I said, man, Zach Frazier made a case for himself. I definitely need to go back and if I watch the game again, I need to study. I say if because I can't remember whether or not the NFL Game Pass gives you the 22 for preseason. I don't think it does. So I may have to watch the TV tape again, but I want to now go and just watch individual players and not really worry about what else is going on. I want to see how did Mason McCormick, how did he do playing that guard? He got a lot of time out there. You know, him and Frazier and Peyton Wilson, as far as the rookies, got a lot of time out there tonight. So I can't wait to see that. Okay, some of you guys are saying that he was able to move some bodies out there, McCormick, and Herbig is a natural guard. Yeah, and I would like to know, man, maybe they'll say it in some of the post-game conferences. I want to know, was it more so Justin Fields fumbling the ball, or was it more so, just the exchange issue coming from Herbig? We'd love to know that. Outside of that, man, let me see what else I got. And speaking of that, man, two snaps on the ground on consecutive series. Like, you just can't have that. I mean, the Steelers were fortunate to get the ball back, but cannot have that. Cannot have that. Martravius Adams, he was a guy that showed up today too in his short stint. Only reason why I didn't make too much a fuss about him is we know what Martravius Adams is. Martravius Adams has been that guy that's been quick, cat-like quick on the pass rush, showing up here and there every now in the run game. Just, what we saw tonight, he's done that. And he's continued to do that since he's been a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he's a veteran. So I'm not, I don't really need to talk about him as much. I know what Mont is going to give me. But it was good to see him go out there and perform. What else do I have here? Steelers featuring a true fullback. Can't remember the kid's name right now, but him wearing that 45 sure did make me think of, y'all know who the guy I'm thinking about. And every time I say his name, it makes me feel like I'm going to say something else. Malafala, my man. Y'all, who remembers him? Number 45, Malafala. That was my guy. I just liked saying his name. But yeah, man, it just looked funny, man. We haven't seen that in a long time, man. Like, I guess since Rosie Nix, but even with Rosie Nix, we didn't really, and I'm probably missing somebody else. Derek Watt, the other Watt brother, but we didn't line him up at fullback as much. The last time that we really kind of, to me, where we saw fullback a little more often was Rosie Nix, and we didn't even use him as much as I thought. So I would even say that in tonight's game, we saw an actual fullback out there more than I'm accustomed to seeing with a Pittsburgh Steelers team of late. What else did I want to talk about, guys? Really quick, man. Marvin Leal did feature a little bit on the edge. I know they talked about him being moved to outside linebacker. That's the word on the street. Marcus Golden has retired, so maybe that is what's going to happen, that Leal is going to be an edge rusher, and that's fine. He got himself a sack tonight, but keep your eyes on it and see how that will progress. Mr. Quez Watkins. Quez. You already in a very interesting roster spot battle, with guys like Scotty Miller and Dez Fitzpatrick, and there's other receivers that I'm probably not naming, but Quez, yeah, you might want to pack your bags. Fumbling the football like that already is not a good sign, young man. What else do I got, guys? I have one or two more things that I'm going to get to Tom in here in a moment as well. I don't understand why we didn't see Corey Trice and Darius Rush early in the game. I did see him later in the game, fourth quarter, I believe. And I know, Trice is coming back off an injury. Kenyon Tony and I were discussing that during the game. But I still feel like he needed to be out there. So I thought, okay, maybe they held him. And then when we saw him in the fourth quarter, I'm like, okay, so he is playing. I mean, is it some type of load management? If you want to make that argument for Trice, cool. But what about Rush? So not quite sure about the rotation, how they did it tonight. I'm not questioning it, but it looks like they were playing guys kind of out of depth chart position. If you understand what I'm saying, I think maybe Tomlin and crew wanted to kind of do it in reverse and get more of a look of guys deeper than the depth chart before guys that they know, I guess. Because some of the other guys that were playing out there, in the secondary, and if I'm not mistaken, man, I got to go back and look at some of those numbers, but some of the other guys who were playing at corner and stuff like that, once Joy Porter and them went out, I would have thought Trice would have been ahead of them. I would have thought Rush would have been ahead of them. Even though it seemed like they were using Rush more, in more of a safety capacity. Maybe we were running dime or something in those situations. I don't know. I'm really going to have to go back and look. Like I said, guys, in real time during the game, I try to see what's going on, but I can't always call the formation and all of that in real time. I got to go watch the film, and then I can say, okay, this is what we were running. But yeah, I don't know why those guys didn't play earlier. Let's see. 2 last topics, and then I'm getting out of here. Let me get to Tomlin first. What are the 2 things that you guys hear me say I've always criticized Mike Tomlin for in his tenure? Even though I am a fan of Mike Tomlin. I am definitely a fan of Mike Tomlin. I sit here and say it 100 times. I think Mike Tomlin is a great coach. Okay? And, people define great in different categories. So I'm not even going to have that debate. I'm just talking about a leader of men, someone whose team never quits on him, someone who can get the best out of what he has. I think he is a great football coach. Unfortunately, we just haven't gotten more Super Bowls than the first one. But even with that, what are the 2 things that I talk about the most? You got it. The master of music. Time management and challenges. And can anybody explain to me why we did not challenge that catch to Van Jefferson early in the game? And I want to say that was the 3rd down. Now, some people might say, oh, Sim, is preseason, it doesn't matter. Okay, I get that, but no, what it does matter is we should be practicing everything. We should be challenging, and even if we're just practicing to see what type of things the refs are going to be calling in or out, what type of things, give me a feel of what type of things are going to be overturned. Give your eyes practice of saying, okay, I think I saw what I saw. I'm going to challenge it. Why did you not challenge that, bruh? I don't get it. Absolutely, Floyd. Those are the 2 things. Now, time management. I'm not going to get on them for the way the 4th quarter ended because it is preseason and sometimes you just want to get guys out of there. But, I mean, like I said, I left out of the room and came in here and started the show with a 2-minute warning. I felt like there was some opportunity there to call a timeout or 2 ahead of the 2-minute warning. So again, maybe I don't hang on that one as much because it's preseason, but those are the 2 aspects of Tomlin's coaching career that I have issues with, and both of them showed up tonight. Come on, Coach T, please. Come on, Coach T. That's come on. You got to get better with them challenges. All right, man. Last topic, and then I'm going to get out of here. Can I be honest with y'all for a moment? Do y'all mind if I be honest with y'all? Take a sip of water. Can I be honest with y'all? Now, before I'm honest with y'all, I see a comment from 55 Porter. He says, Herbig was bad. Bring back Mason Cole. Too early on that, 55 Porter. When you say he was bad, are you referring to the snaps? Because I don't know if there was anything else that I saw with my eyes, or I could say he was bad. I did say I will say the run game was getting stuffed kind of early with those guys out there, but I can't say it was Herbig alone until I rewatched the game. And the reason why I can't jump to conclusions on the center exchange is I don't know if it was him or Fields. The first one they showed the replay on, it looked like it hit Fields in the hands and he dropped it. You see what I'm saying? So, and for you to want to bring, if you want to bring Mason Cole back, I mean, the guy that can start, we saw play tonight, who is Zach Frazier. But anyway, I'm going to be honest with y'all for a quick second. I know it's preseason. But if I'm being honest with y'all, with my family, I'm tired of using that excuse. There it is. I said it. I'm tired of using that excuse. I have used it in many years. You guys have heard me sit right here and use it. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Many times you'll hear us say, I say us because I'm included in this. We'll come on and we'll say, oh, it's preseason, I ain't concerned. And, you know, it is what it is, and blah, blah, blah. And the starters ain't out there. Well, there is some truth to that, but how come it's always us that look like that? It was preseason for the Texans too. But they put stuff together and look better than us. Even their backups. They were doing things better than our team. And it seems like we're always in this situation. And to me, it's important because I get it. Yes, it's preseason. Yes, some of these guys are not going to be on your roster, but the same rules apply to the other teams. And I just feel like sometimes I'm seeing other teams, they look better. And there's some teams that look worse. But I'm just saying, I'm tired of always having to say, oh, it's just preseason. When are we going to get back to a point where our team is deep? Where even we can see that even you put the backup out there, and now we might have it at quarterback, right? And I'm not saying that Russell or Fields is it. But what I'm saying is you might not see a lot of drop off from 1 to 2, depending on if Justin Fields can get himself together in the pocket and all of that. But I'm just saying, man, like these dudes, their third string depth, or fourth string rather, was Case Keenum, which is a guy who has won in the NFL. Remember that season he had with Minnesota? So what I'm saying is, where I'm particularly talking about it is not even offense. It's the defensive side of the ball. It's the defensive side of the ball. I just don't feel like we look stout. I just feel like, man, for the last several years, when teams decided to run on us, they could just run on us. You know what I mean? I'm tired of seeing that. And that's where the idea came from when I said I'm tired of making that excuse, because any other time I would say, oh, the starters ain't even out there. It's preseason. But I've been saying that for a few years now. Because if we really feel like that, then what happens if a TJ Watt goes down? What happens if Alex Highsmith goes down? Now, the edge guys, I like Herbig. Hey, Moon showed up a little bit tonight. Hey, the dude Keon Johnson was getting around the edge. He just wasn't finishing. Hey, maybe Lee Al. But it's that interior. It's the middle. It's the in between the tackles that's bothering me, man. It's just, I don't know, man. Am I off? Am I off, guys? Am I overanalyzing it, or do you guys feel what I'm saying? Again, I'm not putting too much stock in it, man, but it's like, yeah, yes, child of the corn. That's what I'm saying, bro. It just don't feel like there's nobody out there trying to go get it. Now, like I said, Peyton Wilson was popping up. And this, you can't put it on the head coach. You know why you can't put it on the head coach? Because everybody talks about how physical of a training camp that Tomlin runs. All of these players talking about, yo, when I came here, players from other teams telling me, yo, when you go there, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. But it's almost like, I don't know, man. I don't see it with some of these guys. That's very true, Lanisha. She says, and hello, by the way. She says, last year we won all 3 preseason games, and look what happened. I take the preseason with a grain of salt. I do too, but what I'm saying is I don't see much talent that I can be optimistic about outside of the starters. Right? Like Floyd said, Loudermilk. What I mean, like these dudes just don't be panning out, man. And some of these other teams, you look like I'm saying, people. Two things are right. Yes, it's just preseason. We can take it with a grain of salt. But why is it that it's always our team that looks subpar? With the exception of last year, we did win all of those games, but we still don't. It's been a long time since the Steelers have looked like a dominant team. We're such a grinded out type of team, man, and it's painful to be in that situation because we're no longer in the 90s or early 2000s. It's past happy right now, and outside of Joy Porter Jr., I mean, we didn't see Dante Jackson tonight. Like, who you trust at corner? It seemed like our zones get ate alive. It's just, I don't know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just, something just don't feel right. But hey, I'm not here calling it tonight, but I'm just tired of having that feeling, man. I'm tired of not having that feeling of excitement or enthusiasm when I watch the backups, you know? And that's not cool. That's not cool, in my opinion. Yeah, like Jordan Mears says, Mark Robinson had high hopes for him, and man, we might not make the roster. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It seemed like once them starters are out of there, and I'm talking second string guys, it's like it goes like this immediately. And maybe it's just a bunch of years of mess, and it's going to take a while to get all of that out, like to completely retool the roster from top to bottom. I know Omar Khan is trying to do his thing in the second year now, but maybe that's what it is. It's a domino effect of all of that just throwing trash on the roster or something. I don't know. I know, but Kenyon, that's my point. Them 7 players were starters. I'm not talking about the starting lineup. I'm just saying I'm not making that excuse for the Steelers no more, for my team. I'm not going to make that excuse no more saying, oh, well, you know, those are our backups. Yeah, but we played backups. So can our backups win too? And again, Lanisha was right. We did last year. But I just want to see more consistency of that. I don't see enough of the backup players that I feel like, ooh, keep an eye on him. And I don't know, maybe it's just we just don't have a talented roster. You know what I mean? And that could be that too, Master of Music. We literally are probably watching the rebuild. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping, man, but it was something that dawned on me as I was watching the game. You know, it was, and I'm still excited. Don't get me twisted. It's just something that I'm noticing, like, and if I be honest with y'all, it's one aspect, man. It's just the way the run defense. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad, man. And it hasn't been that good even with the starters. So it just feels like we don't have something. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not out on them yet, but we'll see. But I'm not going to put a jinx on it. But mark my words, y'all remember this. If we start seeing what I'm talking about tonight in like week 8, week 9, just remember who said it. Hope I'm wrong, though. But all right, man, that's going to do it for tonight, man. Yes, yeah, Kenyon. And see, it might be a part of that, too. It might be a part of the coaches having their old guard. And, you know, it's like we just keep watching the same thing. And see, what covers it up is like, oh, the Steelers defense largely is good. Yeah, but it's like, you know what I mean? We doing these off coverages on third and short, like Kenya just said. So I'm rambling, guys. I can't really articulate what I'm saying. There's so many thoughts, but largely, it's like, why does the Steelers always look like that? And we're always talking about, oh, they're gonna get better. And nah, bro. Nah. Yes, Leonard Green. Our backups look like hot garbage compared to everyone else. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, I can't put it all on, I'm not putting it all on head coach, on Tomlin, or even coordinators, or because we are still the same team that stays resilient in the season, and we fight and we get in the playoffs. So I can't say it's bad coaching. It's just the players. The players just don't, I don't know. I think it's going to take us 3-4 years of consistent drafting in order to get the roster, man, that can really compete. Like depth. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Because, boy, our backups, and largely in the trenches on defense, I don't have a good feeling, man. Because, again, yeah, 7 guys was out tonight. But, again, ask yourself, who's behind these dudes? Who behind Cam and Larry Ogunjobi that you feel comfortable with? Montravius Adams, I'm comfortable with. He's going to give me what I think he's going to give me. Benton is emerging. But outside of that, man, it's like Mark Robinson has never panned out. But we got Peyton Wilson. He might be special. But all right, man. I don't know. We all got a different of opinion. That's just my opinion. So maybe that's just it might have just been something I saw tonight that just don't feel right. But that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Quick, short one. I'll be back to you guys on Tuesday. Be back with you guys on Tuesday. Phone lines will be open. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Rewatch the game, you know. By that time, I'll be able to look at certain players and pinpoint who I want to watch. I want to go back and watch more of Mason McCormick. I want to really, really, really pay attention to when Broderick Jones and Fautanu were both out there. I was watching it, but again, in real time, I'm not just going to do like this and watch the O-line. I want to see what's happening with the ball. But now that I've watched the game, I can just focus strictly on the O-line and see who did what. Go rewatch Peyton Wilson again. Who else did I want to pay attention to? Benny Bishop. I want to go pay attention to Benny Bishop. So I'm hoping that I do get the all-22. I don't remember if I get that for preseason with Game Pass. I don't think so. But I hope so. If I can get that coach's film, that'll tell me a lot. Last thing I'll say here, Floyd says, we don't have that leadership to get on the backups and light that fire like we had with the Hines, Debo, and Clark. Yeah, maybe it's something like that, man. Maybe it's something like that, Floyd. But I know Floyd knows what I'm talking about. I know he understands what I'm saying. He understands what I'm saying. C.T. Pittman, maybe. I can't say for sure, but stay on the lookout. I might pop up in the next hour or two doing college football stream, but I can't commit to it just yet. But all right, y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you know when I am live and kicking. And outside of that, man, y'all have a great, safe weekend. Stay healthy. Stay safe. God bless. Good night. Thanks for tuning in. And I shall catch you guys in the next one. Peace.